I want to tell you a story I heard. I was in London a year ago, and I went to see a very close friend of mine, and he told me a true story. It concerns a Hasidic Rebbe. I've forgotten the name of the Hasidic Rebbe, but it's a true story. He had a Hasid, and the Hasid had a terrible problem. The problem the Hasid had was he had a terrible, terrible temper. And it wasn't a bad person, but when he lost his temper, everybody ran for cover. His wife suffered, the microphone suffered, his wife suffered, his children suffered, his friends suffered, his employees suffered, and he wasn't a bad guy, so he regretted it very much. It's just that he was, I think the American phrase is a rageaholic. Have you heard that phrase? A rageaholic. And he couldn't control it. So of course, he's a Hasid, he has a problem, goes to see the Rebbe. So he came to see the Rebbe, and the Rebbe's listening, and he's stroking his beard, and said, look, this is a very big problem. I would like to give you the best advice that I can. So please go outside my room. There's a couch in the hallway outside. Just give me 10 minutes to come up with the best advice I can give you. So the Chassid goes out and sits outside on the couch. The Rebbe's assistant, the Shamas, sees that the Rebbe is on his own and goes in. So he opens the door, comes in and says, Rebbe, willst du haben a Glas tea? Would you like a cup of tea? And the Rebbe said, Kim rein, come in. So the Shamas comes in and closes the door behind, and he goes up and the Rebbe says, Kim, come here. And when he goes over, he says to him, that Chassid of mine sitting outside, he's got a horrible problem. He has a terrible temper, and I'm trying to give him the best advice I can. But to give him the best advice, I have to get a feel of what this terrible temper is like. So do me a favour. Go out and provoke him. Go out and get him to lose his temper. So the Shammah says, go out and get him to lose his temper. Okay, the Rebbe said. So he goes out and the Shammah was a little guy. The guy with the temper is a big guy. And he's sitting there, so he goes past him, he smiles, and the guy smiles back. He goes into the kitchen and he prepares a tray for the Rebbe. There is a pot of tea. There is a jug of milk. There is sugar, a bowl of sugar, and there are cookies. And as he walks past the big chassid with a terrible temper, he pretends to trip and drops the entire thing onto his lap. The chassid with a temper leaps up and goes, Daganish, don't worry. Could happen to anybody, The Rebbe said, get him to lose his temper. So the Shammah says, well, maybe if you hadn't stuck your great big feet out, I wouldn't have tripped over them, which he didn't do. And the chassid said, you know what? You're right. I do have big feet. So the Shammah gathers up all the debris from the floor, and he goes into the Rebbe. He says, I tried. Don't worry, send them in. Puts down the tray, out goes the Shammah, in comes the chassid. The Rebbe said, are you okay? He said, yeah. Are you sure you're okay? You're covered in tea, you're covered in... No problem. Sit down. Are you sure you're okay? I'm fine. The Rebbe said, you've come to see me because you've got a terrible problem with your temper, yes? Yes. I didn't see much evidence of that terrible temper a few moments ago. So a little smile crept onto the chassid's lips, and he said, well, to tell you the truth, Rebbe, I overheard you telling the Shammahs to come out and get me to lose my temper. And the Rebbe said, to tell you the truth, I meant you to overhear me. You see, you think you've come to see me because you've got a terrible problem with your temper. No, you don't. You have a terrible problem with your Emuna b'HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When you overheard what was planned and you knew that it came from me, fine, I understand where this is coming from. But when other stuff happens to in your life that comes from the Rebbe of the Rebbes, then you don't understand that, you don't get that, and then you don't have a problem with your temper, you have a problem with your emunah.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.